There is a $50 billion industry built entirely on the idea that you are not enough yet. Not yet successful enough. Not yet disciplined enough. Not yet the person you were meant to be. And the moment you believe that sentence, you become a customer for life. This is the story of Daniel, and it begins the way most of these stories begin, with a book. Daniel was 28, smart, ambitious, genuinely motivated. He wasn't looking for a shortcut, he was looking for a map. He found the book at an airport bookstore on the way to a work trip. The title promised clarity. The back cover promised transformation. The author's photo showed a man in a very expensive suit standing in front of what appeared to be his private jet. Daniel bought the book. He read it in 2 days, and for the first time in his adult life, he felt like someone understood exactly what was standing between him and the life he wanted. Mindset. It was mindset. He just needed to fix his mindset. He highlighted every page.
He bought a journal. He started waking up at 5 a.m. for 3 weeks. Then life happened, as life does, and the 5 a.m. routine dissolved, and the journal sat on the nightstand. And Daniel was back to where he started. Except now he felt guilty about it, which is exactly where the industry wants you. Because guilt is the gap between who you are and who the book told you to be. And that gap is worth $50 billion a year. At 30, Daniel bought his first online course, $297. It was about building a personal brand. The instructor had 200,000 followers. The sales page had 17 testimonials and a countdown timer that said the price was going up in 48 hours. It was not going up in 48 hours. Daniel completed 40% of the course, which, studies show, is higher than the industry average of 15%. He didn't build a personal brand. But the course ended with a recommendation for the instructor's advanced program, $997. Because the $297 course was never designed to be the answer.
It was designed to be the introduction to the answer, which cost $997. At 31, Daniel hired his first coach, $200 a month. She was energetic and encouraging, and every session ended with Daniel feeling temporarily invincible. And then the week would happen. And the things he was supposed to do didn't get done. And the next session would begin with a gentle conversation about what was blocking him. Always blocking, never done. But the sessions felt productive, and feeling productive is not the same as being productive. The coach renewed him every 3 months, for a year. At 33, Daniel joined a mastermind group, $3,000. 12 people on a Zoom call every 2 weeks. Everyone ambitious, everyone stuck. Everyone paying $3,000 to feel less alone in their stuckness. There was accountability. There were frameworks. There were acronyms for things that didn't need acronyms. Daniel left after 6 months, having made 0 progress on the thing he joined to progress on. But having bought 2 more books recommended by members of the group, at 35, Daniel flew to a live event. $2,500 for the ticket, $400 for the flight, $600 for the hotel. 3 days. The room held 800 people. The speakers were electrifying. The energy was extraordinary. Daniel took 14 pages of notes. He came home on a Sunday night feeling like he could change everything. By Wednesday, the feeling was gone. This is a documented phenomenon in the personal development industry. It has a name, event high. The industry knows about it. The industry depends on it. Because the solution to the event high fading is the next event. $2,500 plus flight plus hotel. At 36, Daniel hired a business coach. $8,000 for 6 months. This was serious now. This was a real investment. This was going to be different. The coach was impressive. His testimonials were impressive. His Instagram was very impressive. They met twice a month via video call. The coach asked powerful questions. Daniel gave honest answers. 6 months later, Daniel was in the same position he had been in before the coaching started.
When he raised this with the coach said something that Daniel still thinks about. He said, "The work was good. You just need more time to implement." Which is a professional way of saying, the product worked, you just didn't. The failure is never the course. The failure is never the coach. The failure is never the framework. The failure is always you. And the design is not accidental. At 38, Daniel found an online academy. $4,997, lifetime access, community forum, monthly live calls, new content added every week. He spent 6 months consuming content, not creating, not building, not doing, consuming. Because consumption feels like progress. Opening a module feels like work. Taking notes feels like work. Being in the community feels like work. None of it is work. Work is the thing you do after you close the laptop. At 39, one more coach, $6,000.
Different methodology, same result. At 40, Daniel sat at his desk and added it up. $297. $497. $2,400 in coaching. $3,000 mastermind. $3,500 live event including travel. $8,000 business coach. $4,997 academy. $6,000 final coach. Plus books, plus courses, plus smaller purchases he had forgotten about. Over $30,000. 12 years. And his professional position was almost identical to where it had been at 32. He sat with that number for a long time. Not with anger, with clarity. Because Daniel is not stupid. Daniel never was. He was sold a business model that he mistook for a path. Here is how the self-help business model works. Step 1. Make the customer feel inadequate. Not broken, just not there yet. There is an important difference. Broken people don't buy. Almost there people buy everything. Step 2. Sell them the first product. Price it low enough to feel accessible. Make it good enough to create belief. End it with a pitch for the next product. Step 3. When the customer doesn't get results, ensure the language of the product makes the failure theirs.
You didn't implement. You weren't committed enough. You let your limiting beliefs win. Never. Our product didn't deliver. Never. We oversold what this could do. Never. The transformation we promised was not something a course could provide. Step 4. Sell them the solution to their failure. Which is the next course, the advanced program, the mastermind, the coach, the live event. The customer who fails is more valuable than the customer who succeeds. The customer who succeeds stops buying. The customer who fails blames themselves and comes back with a credit card and renewed hope. $50 billion a year, built on the gap between who you are and who you believe you should be. And the gap never closes, because the industry's survival depends on the gap never closing. Daniel stopped buying in January of his 40th year. Not in anger, not in bitterness. He just stopped. He picked one skill, copywriting. Not because of a course, not because of a coach, because someone he respected was making real money doing it, and Daniel decided to learn by doing instead of learning by consuming. He spent 3 months writing. Badly at first, then less badly, then well enough. He got his first paid client in month 4. $500 for a project. More than any course had ever returned. Not because he finally found the right teacher, because he finally stopped looking for permission to start. The self-help industry sells permission. Buy this course and you will be ready. Hire this coach and you will be ready. Attend this event and you will be ready. Ready is a product they sell that never gets delivered, because the moment you feel ready, you stop needing them. Daniel told me, "The most expensive thing I ever bought was the belief that I needed to be ready before I could begin."
That belief cost him $30,000 and 12 years.
If you have spent money on courses that didn't move you forward, you didn't fail. You were sold a business model disguised as a belief system. The question worth asking is not which course should I buy next. The question is, what would happen if I spent the next 90 days doing instead of consuming? Daniel knows the answer. Do you have a course you bought and never finished? Tell us in the comments. And if this story felt familiar, subscribe. Because the truth doesn't advertise itself. And the self-help industry has a very large advertising budget.